doing?
What's up?
I know. Good times. Hey, while we're waiting on folks, let's not say anything because we'll miss out on people joining. Cooped is my website. You can visit it anytime. I'm Cooped Up as my handle in all of the social places. If you want to follow Kerrie, she's on Instagram at Food Sparks. It's a private account, but you can ask to be her friend and just
And I'm
say
glad you.
yes. And then last but not least, wherever you watch or listen to this, it's on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, as well as audio format rebroadcast on all the major podcasting platforms. Be sure to click the bell so that you get notified when I have come live. So with that, how you doing?
I'm good. Long time not see. I've seen you on social, but
Yes.
hey,
Mama's
hi,
saying
Mama
hi
Cooper.
with two waves and Raven saying hello.
Hello. Haven't
Um,
seen you in a couple of months. I mean, to the day. I left 2 months ago.
isn't
To
that
the day.
crazy? I know. I've only seen you one time via FaceTime, and that was it. So
Yes, I know.
crazy,
I've watched
crazy.
you here and there on social,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So you glad to be back?
Yes, I was ready. I mean, I was glad for the time I spent. Had an amazing time, but I was ready to be home because it's like, you get to a point where you've done all the things, and then Christmas happened, and we had a great Christmas. And for those that don't know, I was in the UK. I've been in England for the last 2 months. I got back New Year's Eve, actually. I changed my flight. I was going to come back on the 3rd. And I came back New Year's Eve and surprised my friends, so including Colin Cooper from the Uber.
Yes. And yeah, because you were staying in the town where your mother grew up, right?
Yeah, well, they went to school there. My uncle and aunt have lived there for 25 years. Sandwich, which is in Kent, so along the English Channel on the upper coast side. So
Yeah.
Canterbury is there. The Canterbury Cathedral, White Cliffs of Dover, that whole
Uh-huh.
area.
Yeah.
So I was staying there, but I was in London a couple of times at the London office working from there as well. And then the rest of the time I worked remotely. I got my
Cool.
own flat, in the same town as my family, which is teeny tiny town. Like you can walk the whole thing in like no time. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that if anyone follows you on Instagram, they saw a
Yeah.
second by second breakdown of it. It was so funny. Your Instagram stories, normally you see like dashes at the top.
Yeah.
Yours were like microscopic pin dots. There were so many of.
You can have up to 100 frames in your story every day. So there were some days I had to count how many photos I had. And I mean, it was a process every night. I must have laid in bed for an hour and a half just to bring you all the posts. But I had so many people every day write me and go, keep sharing. And this is great. And,
That's awesome.
we're commenting and they're like, I'm so excited when I open up your stories and I just see tiny dots across the top. I
Yeah.
just hunker down like a good book and go through it.
But were you
So
were you counting them beforehand so you made sure you got everything, or does it start kicking out the old ones when you put the
what
new ones?
happens is they'll kick off the first you posted. So I would count my photos. Some days I had 20 photos or five, and
Yeah.
sometimes I would take a weekend and put a weekend together. So if you're not careful, so it was easy in the grid format of your iPhone
Yeah.
to just count how many rows of five you had, right? So I'd go, okay, I got more than 20 rows. So I'd figure out a good breaking point, post, some, and then have to break up the next for the rest of it. Because as you know, Instagram 24 hours till falls off. So
Hi,
hi,
Sandy.
Sandy. So I
So
had a lot of people, and what was so crazy is I opened it up to Facebook this time, and just everything that I automatically sent through,
uh-huh.
I checked that box to have it go through Facebook, and I almost doubled my viewership.
I tell you, Facebook is where it's at, baby. I know
Okay.
you.
Well, what's crazy is I don't have my account's private, and Cooper and I laugh about this all the time because for our clients, and just because we're in the biz, we know how to look up engagement rates for people, and there's software out there that you can utilize and whatnot. But I was like, for somebody that only has 500 followers, I consistently get 100 views on my stories. Like 1/5 of my audience is not bad. I mean, that's
Well, I
pretty good
agree.
engagement.
I
Yeah. So
agree.
then
That's
to get
awesome.
double that by sending it to Facebook, I was like, well, okay.
I know. Well, and thank God you made it back before or after, I guess, all of the original weather because we had so much while you were gone. It was so freaking cold here,
I know. You
and the
guys made
wind.
national news over there.
I think it
Yeah.
was like the wind chill was like -5 or -10 one day. It was
Yeah.
crazy. And then it's stupid warm like outside right now. Like
83 degrees.
yeah. And I read somewhere that in England it's really warm right now too. That
Yeah, it is
they
fairly
actually,
warm.
they actually are saying that they're not as worried about like the gas crisis and such in England because people aren't using as much gas to heat their homes right now or whatever. However, the homes are heated. I don't know, but because it's so warm.
It's been in the so right now it's like 55, 54 today, which is what it was when I left there. So like high mid 40s. Occasionally it would dip in the 30s, but it's only really that cold when it's rainy. It's like it's colder when it's wet, and then when the wind blows, you're like sheesh.
Yes, I know.
The crazy thing, the flat where I stayed, they had a Nest thermostat, and when I got there, I kind of had to figure that out, but they had it set to like during the day, prime time that you would be there, like they had it set to 18 centigrade. And then during the night, it would drop to 14. So to give you an idea, when I left for London, those things are smart and they realize that you've left. I came back to a freezing cold flat because it had dropped down to 11 degrees centigrade, which is about 52, 55 degrees US. But it takes a long time to heat up a cottage from the 1400s. So I know when those people get their energy bill, they're going to be like, what the hell? Because I had to go in and change the thermostat because when I got back, there was a really cold week, but then it warmed up again. So then I dropped it back down. But I would have to crank that thing up to 25, 27 centigrade just to get the house to be 17, 18 centigrade, which is about where people keep it over there for like, that's probably like 69, 70 degrees in the house.
Yeah, well, that's like what we keep our house. We keep our house.
But I had to jack it up to 25, 27 just to get 10 degrees centigrade cooler.
Jeez.
Yeah, they leak like a sieve, those flats. So.
Mike is reporting in that it's 82 in Houston today. Jeez.
Yeah, it's 80 here. It's freaking hot.
Like my watch is saying 80. Yeah, that's what it's saying. It is here.
Yeah, and give it a couple weeks and we'll have some random freak ice storm,
Yeah, and Raven saying she took her dog Roxy for a walk wearing a tank top and shorts.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yes, and Mike, I do not have booze in my Starbucks cup. It is just water. And at my new office, I bought an Opal ice machine.
What's that?
The Sonic Ice.
Oh, the Sonic Ice.
I bought one of those those countertop ones.
Yeah.
That there's like a water reservoir you put it inside. It is the best. Claire has even been like, "Can we go to your office so I can get some ice?"
The Sonic Ice is great. Grew up with that.
I mean, I probably put this ice in here this morning. There's only a little bit left, but I've refilled it like 4 times. So
I need one for your house.
I know. It's a little on the loud side. Not loud. It just is like a lot of humming. And it takes up. We might get one for the upstairs kitchen, but I don't know. So is it Opal Ice? Yes, Suzanne. It is Opal Ice. It is from who made it? I can't remember who the manufacturer is. It's the one. It's been all over. It was on all the Black Friday sales. It was not cheap though. I'm telling you, it was probably like $400, $500.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
how much output does it have?
It can do a pound an hour.
But it has a water reservoir. You don't link it directly to a line.
Yeah, it has a water reservoir. You either put it in the bottom, or I bought a little extra attachment that you put it on the side, so that you can just pull that out, refill that with water, and put it in. And I have to refill that like every 3 or 4 days. So it's not, and if it runs out, it's fine. Because funny enough, these Opal ice makers, which is interesting, is that they don't have a refrigerator in it, or there's no freezer in it whatsoever.
There's no coolant?
Other than ice, nothing. It makes the ice, and then as the ice melts, it just dumps it back into the reservoir, and it just makes it back into ice again. So it's got the part that makes the ice that's frozen, but there's nothing that keeps it frozen.
Oh, so once it dumps, is it like everyone's like fresh ice, like ringing the bell for the rolls at Golden Corral? It's time to go get some fresh ice.
But no, it doesn't. It tastes fine. It's got a filter in it, all of it. So Suzanne is saying it's so worth it. Sonic Ice is. I agree. And these cups, it keeps forever. And I drink. Yeah. I have like. I probably have like $300 worth of Starbucks cups that look like this.
Embarrassing.
And different colors because it's perfect, and also it doesn't spill. You don't lose your straw. I've dumped this over before, and it only drips out a little bit right there. Like I love
I'm
them.
surprised that machine is so expensive. You know, the one with the little penguin on it, the Heroes, whatever those machines are, the
Oh,
ones that
Hiroshima. I think
Hiroshi, yeah, they have
actually
them in restaurants.
our rice cooker is from that company.
No, it's not the Zero Sushi. It's the other one starts
Oh,
with an
I
H.
know what you're talking about. Those are
The
the
penguin.
built-in ones, though. Those are crazy expensive.
Well, it depends, but they have a smaller one now that they market for about $500. So I'm surprised that other one is just as expensive as that. But this is you hardline into your house.
Yes, I'm
But
looking
you
it
can
up.
set them up on the countertop too. You don't have to have
It's
them
a
built.
GE Opal. This is what I have. Oh, currently, because I got it at Black Friday. Currently, it's going for $613. But I will say I would have paid. Now that I have one, I would pay $613 for it. It was good. I'm throwing a link in the comments to which one I'm talking about right now. So, yes, we're talking about ice makers. If you've just joined, we're talking about ice makers.
Riveting information.
So the two big things today, Suzanne, while you're on, Suzanne's husband is a pilot, by the way. So this is good timing. So the FAA had to put a full ground stop on departing flights for 90 minutes this morning. I woke up this morning and I was like, what the hell? So I've read more about it. I was reading the Wall Street Journal's reporting on it throughout the day. So it turns out that it's the system. It's the nickname for it is NOTAM, NOTAM, and it's a notification of something.
Traffic management.
Yeah, but it only affects flights that are going to take off. It is a system that notifies pilots of everything that they're going to experience between where they are and where they're going, and like if there's a runway down at that other airport. And it's mandated by Federal Aviation Administration that they read this as part of the checklist before they're allowed to take off. And the system went down overnight. They got it back up, but then the distribution portion of the system went down, so they couldn't get the messages to the pilots. So no flight that was in the air was in danger, in any danger. No flight that was inbound from Europe or anything like that was in any danger. It was just preventing flights from leaving.
Yeah, because they have to make sure they can clear the runway on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was causing some congestion at airports because there were too many planes building up at certain airports.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been crazy here. I mean, I don't know if you saw over in England all of the Southwest Airlines stuff that was going on.
Oh yeah, I was following it because my friend of mine who I used to work with on the agency side, we worked together on clients. She's their lead for PR. So I was messaging with her the whole time. I'm like, thinking about you.
Welcome back, Kerrie.
Thanks, Sam.
I did see that they've posted a PR job also, or a PR consultant job too recently. Like, ooh. But yeah, that was craziness. Although, you had told me, you're like, I bet they're going to do a big sale afterwards to try to make it up to everybody and all of that kind of stuff. They did, but I looked at flights and they weren't that cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, not yet. I think they'll do more before the summer comes.
Maybe from Dallas to Austin for $49, but I looked at it from Dallas to Los Angeles, Dallas to Burbank, Dallas to Orange County, all of the places they fly in, because we need to go out and see the new baby, Adler Waters. We need to go out and see him, and of course Nina and Peter as well. But so I was looking at flights, and it was for the four of us to fly on Southwest. And it was going to have a stop because there's no direct flights. It was going to be something like $3,600. Craziness.
Wow.
I know.
I looked at Chicago, and it wasn't much cheaper than when I looked a few weeks ago because I got to go to Chicago in May, and it was still $163 each way. So I was like, that's not that cheap for Chicago.
I know. It was craziness. And I agree with this, Aaron. Aaron says, I fly American Airlines every week, and it's always cheaper than Southwest. I agree. I think that whole thing about Southwest being cheaper is old.
I think they used to be.
They used to be, yes.
Yeah.
And the reason they get away with it now is that it's impossible to compare fares because they don't list their fares anywhere else. No one else. Southwest is the only people who are allowed to sell Southwest Airlines flights, so you never see them in a cost comparison. So people just automatically go to it thinking, oh, it's got to be cheaper. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay more to not then have a seat assigned to me and have to stand in numerical order to get on.
Yeah, I just think I just don't fly American enough unless it's international flights to really, it's just the whole seat picking and thing with them, and they charge you more to, at least I just feel like, for domestic, you know what you're getting with Southwest, you know what the seats are, and the newer planes are nice because they have more leg room.
Yeah.
Um,
I like to know exactly where I'm going to sit.
no, I know where exactly I'm gonna sit because I buy the A-list boarding, so I get
I
on,
know.
the early boarding.
But then isn't that basically the same as being upcharged for a seat assignment?
Well, it depends. I mean, I think they charge more for Americans,
I
but
think
with the
that
price difference, it
so
evens out.
you and I are going to Las Vegas in about 3 weeks. Actually, I can't believe it. Maybe a month. It's actually a month from what is today, the
Month from
11th.
today.
Yeah, a
The
month
11th.
from today, we're going to see Adele. Excited about that. Bitch, better not catch COVID. Bitch, the other day I saw an article. What I'm going to get off on a tangent if I say that. We'll get back to that. I was looking though when I booked the flights for us. I did upgrade to seats closer to the front, and it was like $39 each or something like that. So, how much is the upgrade on Southwest?
Well, you pay, it depends if you pay, it's between 25 and 50, depending on the leg, the leg of the flight, I think, if I
Okay.
remember correctly. But you just get, in that A1 through 30 boarding group is what it is.
That's comparable, I
But
guess.
yeah, but now they do their ticket. They change their ticketing structure now. Now they have 5 levels, so you can actually buy in at different levels now and get more points. And sometimes that's included. It just depends on what level you buy
I
in
did
at.
see that last night because it says want to get away plus, and
Yeah,
it like
they
leveled.
try to encourage. Actually, they tell you it's kind of, if you really are a person who collects points, travels a lot. When you get to the checkout point, they'll say for $5 more or $30 more, whatever it might be, you can go to Want to Get Away Plus, and you get 2 times the points. So in
Yeah,
some cases, it's worth it to
yeah,
pay.
I
Yeah.
can see that. Monica is saying, doesn't she have sciatica really bad? Talking about Adele. Yes, that's what I was about to talk about. That
What?
the other day. Oh, I thought you saw that thing I sent you. So Adele has been complaining recently about her sciatica and that she's having trouble walking on stage.
Oh my.
And it's getting worse and worse as she goes through this concert and all that stuff. And I sent you a link and I said, bitch, better not Celine Dion us on
Oh,
this.
I don't think I think I missed part of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that
Bitch,
is
I will get you a chair because listen,
seriously.
we do
Well,
not have the best Vegas luck. Third time's a charm. We've
I
changed
know.
artists, but third time's a
Yes.
charm.
She needs a good massage gun, Raven said. I know.
Yeah, just like when Celine said she was sick, Cooper's like, she needs a sandwich, is what she
She
needs,
needs to
and
eat a
grab the
fucking sandwich.
microphone.
I am still not convinced that she doesn't eat a sandwich, but
Yeah, I mean, I get it. That kind of stuff she doesn't have much control over, but I'm like, maybe if you weren't wasting away and your body had
I
something to feed
know.
on, that it
I
wouldn't feed on your
know.
muscles. I don't
A
know.
little fat, your body may not be doing all of that. So, but yeah. Anyway. Oh, by the way, this pullover, it's from Fabletics. You can see it right there.
Nice.
The
Did you join?
I did, and I have since unjoined because I kept getting charged the $49 and I didn't mean to, or $59.
Yeah. Well, it's 55, and then they'll just, you can
I
go
just
in.
remember to waive it every month, and you have to
Well,
do it.
I put a reminder in my calendar. Actually, I let them stack up. The last time I ordered, I had 8 credits. I had a whole shit ton of stuff come.
See, here's my thing on that though: is when they have a sale, it's not worth it to use a credit.
No, I don't do that.
I know, but their sales are so good. Like you can get a pair of shorts for $15, or you can spend one $59 credit on a pair of shorts.
So you don't do that. So you got to know how to work Fabletics angle.
You got to buy the kit, right?
Yeah.
Like
you got to buy the sets.
So that's what I did. I bought this as part of a set.
But you can't get the sales unless you're a member either.
Well, I've got plenty now because they had these on sale for like $25.
Yeah.
And so I ordered one because I had ordered 2, and I like them so much because they have that thing where they're a little bit long. So like if you're walking outside and it's cold, but if you're not, they fit really well. They skim just the right. Yeah. It also helps that I've lost some weight. But so I ordered them in every color. I've got like all the colors. I've got that where the sleeves are one color and this is a different color. So
it's like a good dupe of the Lulu one.
Yeah, it is.
I got a dupe of the Lulu little half. Not that you would wear this, but the little, that new scuba material that Lulu's got. Mm-hmm. There was one of the influencers gave a dupe for one on Amazon for like $25. It's like a little, it's
Yeah.
a color zip like you have, but it's a half tank sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah.
Aaron is saying I fell down a flight of stairs and it fixed my sciatica. Pusher.
Jesus, Aaron.
And don't make fun of health, Cooper.
I know.
I
He's
know.
like, she needs to eat a sandwich.
I know.
Yeah, if Adele just wants to sit in a big old comfy lazy boy recliner,
Seriously, we are fine with that. She could be in her pajamas. She could be in a lazy boy. They could, I mean, it's okay. They can have Roman, Greek gods, whatever, bring her out in a golden chariot and sit her on the stage. I don't care. That'd actually be really cool at Caesar's Palace. But the because she is at Caesar's, which, by the way, is one of my least favorite casinos. Actually, it's so like it's so big. I mean, you've never been. That still shocks me that you've never been to Las Vegas.
I've never been to Vegas. Everybody, this is my first time.
So, and we're only staying 2 nights, which is plenty of time for Las Vegas.
Plenty.
I'll tell you, after about 3 days in Vegas, I'm like, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, I knew enough to know, like, we're just staying a couple of days. That's all we need.
Yeah. And
we have to get somewhere to go to dinner fancy one night. So if anybody has any recommendations,
she could be upside down in a decompression chair.
The room between those squishy discs singing. Yes.
That would be funny. That would be funny. No, Monica got married in Las Vegas, and I went out with my friend Matt Maynard happened to be there already for a conference. And so he ended up staying the weekend with us while Monica got married there to Mike. They did it at that drive-through, like little white wedding chapel.
Oh, you did the little the little wedding chapel.
Yeah. I was the wedding photographer. We were in the back of a stretch Lincoln Navigator, and it was a lot of fun. Really silly and cheesy. First, you have to go get your wedding license, your marriage license, and that's open 24 hours a day at the city hall or courthouse or whatever. But you never know how long that's going to take. So, like, we went into Matt and I left and went to like the Four Queens. It's down on like Fremont Street, which we will probably not go down to Fremont Street while you're there.
Really? That's like the street everybody goes to, isn't it? I know it's the trash, but you know,
I don't know.
It's like the main thoroughfare, right?
Well, it's all the way downtown. It's nowhere close to the Strip. Like, it's probably like if you take the bus down there, it's probably a 20 to 30-minute bus ride.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It's a spectacle. I will say they have the loosest slots down there. Did you say loose sluts? No, loose slots. Todd actually, that's the only place Todd has ever won any significant amount of. Monica saying you're going to Fremont. I know, we probably will. Todd, we were in a casino down there, and I'm on a tangent now. Let me finish the other story real quick. So Matt and I go into it. We just go to the Subway. At the nicest restaurant at this one hotel was a Subway. I know, that's Fremont Street for you right there. And so, and then we ate, and then we came back, and then we got back in the Navigator. We drove and had to wait in a line, like a drive. It was like Chick-fil-A line to get through this thing. You had to make an appointment, I think, but still, there was still a line. The car in front of us was like a red Mustang with a Japanese couple. They'd flown in from Japan. She was in the largest white dress that you could possibly buy. They were sitting on the convertible back part of it.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cute. But that night, Matt and I went out to like a club or something. And the next day we woke up and we were so fucking hungover and blunt. We just left. I texted Monica and I was like, hey, we're leaving today. We're not leaving tomorrow. We cut the trip short a day. I didn't even say bye. We did not even go find them and say bye to them. I texted her. I'm like, we've changed our flights. We're going home today. We're on our way to the airport. Yes. So, yeah, because that's Vegas. I tell you, 2 days, 2 nights, 3 days, 2 nights is plenty of time to do it. Because otherwise you get into trouble. You can only eat so many $300 dinners because it's very food is
well, we have Friday night. We need to go somewhere to eat, right? And then our thing, I guess Saturday night after the concert, we'd eat late.
Yeah,
I guess restaurants are open late there, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and also they keep the concerts really tightly scheduled. This is not going to be a 2-hour concert. This will be, or a 3-hour concert.
Right.
This will be a hard 120 probably.
Yeah.
Actually, I can Google it right now and see.
So yeah, there's some classic. There's one I looked up and we were going to go to Selena. It's like classic old school Vegas, like a really nice restaurant. Now I can't remember, but it was only open because Celine, we were going to be there like Tuesday, and it was only open like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So it is a 2-hour concert, and they regulate it because they want people out on the casino floor.
Yeah.
If you go to a lot of their shows, like I saw the Jersey Boys there, which is one of my favorite musicals, saw it there, and they cut scenes out of it to shorten it to take an intermission out and everything. So
really, wow.
Yeah. Monica is saying, "Don't let Cooper wear anything too hot or drink too much beforehand."
Girl, yes. I heard the story.
I have a history.
He is not missing Adele. No.
No.
No. Like if I have to like prop him up.
Even if maybe we have to eat beforehand, so then I have enough food in my stomach.
Yes, we have to make sure
and then have a couple of drinks. So, I'm going to be on good behavior that night. Elton vibes.
Yeah, because we've been waiting too long. Elton vibes.
Yeah,
if anybody's got any restaurant recos, send them to us. And nothing too, like I don't want to do a Gordon Ramsay. I don't want to do.
He's got that steakhouse Hell's Kitchen or whatever.
He's got like 5 concepts there. I looked it up.
Yeah. Martha Stewart has a new one.
Who?
Martha has her only restaurant in the world is there.
Oh, really? We should go. Well, we got to go to Martha's.
It's just opened recently. I can't remember what it's called. We went to Giada's restaurant last time we were there.
Not that great.
It was very expensive and very fussy, and then a kind of like mediocre hotel. So I was like, I wouldn't go back. I'd rather eat at some of the places in the either the Bellagio or the Wynn. The Wynn is so good.
Sushi Samba's there, but I went when I was in London. So I already been to that.
Yeah,
they have an egg slut there. We need to go to the egg slut for a breakfast sandwich in the morning.
We used to have Sushi Samba here at the Galleria even.
Is that what that was here?
Yes,
I forgot about that.
Was here. Alice Curry, who knows everything about everything travel, says Mon Ami Gabi, which I assume is that at Paris.
Gabi.
And they do have a Bouchon there, and it is the same one, the Thomas Keller.
Yeah, which I wouldn't mind going to because I collect his restaurants. I have the books and I've been to the restaurants.
Yeah. It's really good.
Bouchon, we can go for pastry and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's on the top of the Venetian, I think, and it has like a courtyard. It doesn't have a view of anything. And actually, it may not be the top. It may just be like 5 floors up or something. So,
what's a really cool bar? I know a lot of people used to go to the Cosmo because of all the crystal chandelier, the chandelier bar, but I don't know if that's like the place to go anymore.
Well, and there is also it's not in one of the hotels. There's supposedly a Chinese food restaurant there that is like quintessential Vegas. Like it's off the strip, not too far off the strip. Like you take a cab or an Uber or something there. And it's supposed to be really good also.
I think I've heard about that. I'll have to Google it.
The Bellagio Fountains, I hope they play a good song for that. So Bellagio Fountains they dance to the music, and it is perfection. Like it is so good. And they start at like, I think they start like they do it on the hour throughout the day, and then they do it like every half an hour once it gets dark at night. And the best is when they do like Clair de Lune from Debussy, which you'll recognize that song. That's the one that's at the end of Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
And then they also do some that are like, luck be a lady tonight. And it's so cool the way they do it. Like I've never, a lot of people try to replicate it. It just cannot be replicated. It is so good. And then in the Bellagio, it is so beautiful with the Chihuly glass.
I do want to see the Chihuly glass because I've seen a lot of his installations.
The only thing I will never stay at the Bellagio again. We stayed there one time because it is a good half-mile walk from the front door to your room. Because so the front door is here. You have to go into the lobby, through the casino, make a left through the casino, down the hallway, almost past the pool before you even get to the bank of elevators, go up, and then bitch, you better pray that your room is on that end of the building, because if it's not, then you got to walk all the way the full length of the building, which is, I think our room was actually closer to Caesar's Palace than it was to the entry to the own Bellagio.
Because they want you to go through that and gamble, right?
I guess.
Hey, doesn't Vegas have one of those designer outlet malls where all the actual designers are?
I have no idea.
There's like one outside of New York. There's the one I went to in Italy. It's like an outdoor outlet mall, but with actual like Prada, Valentino, Gucci. And I thought that they had one.
I don't know. They have premium outlets, which I think that's just the regular old one. But we'll have to look that up. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to look it
up. But there is the place where we're staying. We're staying at the Vidara, which has no casino. It was built to be a condominium tower. It has a bar, and the door and the elevator are like within eyesight of each other. I love it because it's walking like just a few feet from the entrance to the Aria and all that. But that whole area is called City Center, I think. And it has this gorgeous like Louis Vuitton store. Like all the luxury stores are in that mall. It's like North Park, but like bougier. Not like I love North Park. Like sign me up for North Park because it's like sophisticated bougie.
Understated, yeah.
Yeah, understated. This is the opposite.
This is like glitz and glam like Paris, yeah.
Yes. But yeah. And then they have a mall called Fashion Show Mall, which is across from the Wynn, which Monica is talking about. That has it's just like a regular mall, but for some reason we've gone in there and the sales are insane. And the only reason I could think the sales are insane is that it's because no locals shop at that mall. And so they're at the whim of the guests. Tourists. I don't know. So,
last time we were going to go, we lined up. We already had our tickets to the Neon Museum, so we might have to see if we have time to do that.
Yes. Do you know I have never seen the "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign?
Really?
Never
Isn't that on the end of one of the strips, right?
It's on the far south end of the strip, like past the airport and all of that, past the Luxor, past the Mandalay, all of that. So you have to basically take a cab or an Uber to get there. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm very happy that we're going to Vegas.
I know. I'm just happy to be getting to see Adele.
Yes.
If we could just see Celine before the year wraps up, it would make our year.
My guess is that Celine is not going to ever perform again.
I don't know. I know. That's kind of what I said to you when I first saw it. And I said it to you. I was like, I think she's done, which is sad.
I know.
I think she might do studio because she can control that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they can edit. She can sing until she breaks, and then they take a break, and then she sings again, and then.
Yeah, I think she can put out albums, but I don't think she can tour them.
I
don't know.
I've seen her. So obviously, we saw her like a minute before the pandemic started.
Like a hot minute.
And then I've seen her in Vegas also when she was at the same place where Adele is singing, at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. And it was very good, but it was I went with Todd, and I think the tickets were like $700 each or something crazy like that.
That's what we just paid for Adele.
I know, and we were in row F. We were in row F though for Celine. Like we could literally hear her voice like from her mouth, not from the speakers.
Yeah.
But she loves to talk. And I love when Adele talks. Like I'm fine if Adele just does stand up the whole time also. Like I would be completely fine with that because she's so engaging and she laughs at herself and she's so silly. Celine Dion, that is the only thing I hate about her is
it's so cringy.
It's so cringe. Like just and then she tries to talk with an American slang. She's like, it's gonna be a good time, like
come on, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yes.
Like, okay.
And then she tries to be sexy, and it's like, no, there's nothing sexy about that. And she tries to be like rough, and she's like Jerry Lewis. She is the Jerry Lewis of music in terms
She has so many facial expressions and little things she does. It's like,
yes.
no,
And
no.
when she kicks her foot out, and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, but that's
Bless
part of
it.
it. That's part of the. But Todd kept when she would talk. Todd kept saying, looking at me, and goes, "Let's talk and more singing." Celine Dion. Let's talk and more singing. Because Todd had calculated like the cost per minute of that concert.
Oh my God.
And it was not single dollars per minute. Like,
so let me ask you too, in the topic of concerts, because like this kind of, I'm trying to think if this kind of really started for me last year, but you've done it too. Well, and we're doing it together. Choosing to, like when we do stuff at American Airlines, that's one thing. Like if we get a suite or you come to the suite when I go for work, whatever, like that's a given. But now it's like, I don't like that venue unless it's in an environment like that. So I have now been just grabbing concert dates and cities for things I want to go to and just building a trip around it. I'd rather go somewhere else and see, like I went to Bend, Oregon for the Dixie Chicks last year. And then now we're doing Adele, we'll do Celine, but that's because they're there in those venues.
You're
but
braver than I am, though, with that, because I've got to the point where I don't want to go to a concert unless I'm in a box or a suite or something like that. I don't want to be around people. The Elton John concert, it was fun, but it was miserably crowded. Like, it was so crowded that if you had any sort of beer belly, you were rubbing the person in front of you when you were standing up.
That's crazy.
If you had, like, my shoulders were, thank God I'm so tall because I can see, but I mean, you were literally like staring at the back of the head in front of you. Like, it was so crowded.
Well, I do it too if I can get a more unique venue. So for instance, while I was over in the UK, Natalie Merchant announced a tour and she hasn't toured in 10 years. I love her. I was trying to look for tickets where other people could join me. And I was looking at the New York tickets, but they were like twice the price of like Chicago. I was able to get third row in Chicago, in the Chicago theater, so it's like, yeah, I can buy a cheap ticket, go to Chicago and see her, have a friend join me. And then it's like better, like New York was, I don't know if it was Madison Square Garden or another famous theater, but it was twice the price. And in Chicago, there's a certain number she's doing with the symphonies. Last time I saw her was at Bass Performance Hall 9 years ago. And she did it with the Fort Worth Symphony. And
what does she sing? Does she sing "These are the days to remember"?
So she was 10,000 Maniacs first, right? And then a solo on her own. So like around 93, 94. Tiger Lily. You remember the CD Tiger Lily?
No.
Look it up. You will know it.
Across your bed, and then you do. You know how it was meant to be. See the side. Is that Natalie Merchant?
I don't know if that. Maybe that's. I'm not so good with the 10,000 Maniacs. Because the night. Remember they sang "Because the Night"?
No, I'm
remember "Because the Night Belongs to Love."
Oh yeah.
That's 10,000 Maniacs.
Okay.
So she is Tiger Lily albums, like her most popular probably. And she's saying "Wonder."
I think 10,000 Maniacs was right when I was still like I didn't know pop songs growing up in the Valley. I knew country songs, but I didn't know.
It's more like I don't really know what that classification is. It's kind of
Kind and Generous.
Yes, Kind and Generous is really popular. That was on her. No, Ophelia album. But Tiger Lily she had the Carnival, Wonder. I mean, there were several songs off that album. The Wonder song.
I'm sure I recognize a lot of these. I don't know.
You will. When you hear them, you'll be like, oh my God, her. Yeah.
Wonder.
Yeah. Wonder is
Natalie Merchant.
I'm trying to think of the chorus.
Yeah.
Doctors have come. No, that's the beginning.
Yeah. That's the
Stand over my bed. That song. Just believing what they see, and they say I must be one of the wonders. That's Wonder. Carnival is can't get the tune because I have the other one in my head.
I know.
Anyway, Tiger Lily, you'll know almost every song on that album. But yeah, she announced her tour, and I was like, "Well, she's not."
These are the days is Natalie Merchant. It's when she was.
These are the days is her.
It was when she was still with 10,000 Maniacs, though.
Yeah, she'll sing that song, and she'll sing "Because the Night." Usually, she won't sing a whole lot of 10,000 Maniacs because she obviously has to pay them when she sings it, right?
Yeah.
But she will.
Because the night belongs to lovers.
Yeah. Okay. So she's real famous in the 90s, early aughts. and
Yeah.
then kind of, she's come out with albums since then, but it's more if you were just
I
a
think she
fan.
performed at SMU the year before I started. I think that because I recall hearing that with Trippin', it was them and Trippin' Daisies.
Oh,
I
that
think
would make
at
sense.
the
Trippin' Daisies
same
would
like
fit, yeah.
Trippin' Daisies open for 10,000 Maniacs or vice versa or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
well, this will be the 4th time I'm seeing her. Like her concerts are just transcendental. I think it's just like so amazing. I cry every time.
Monica just posted, I had to pull Mike. This is talking about the Elton John concert. I had to pull Mike back several times. His stomach was rubbing the woman's head in front of him when he stood up.
She was probably like, "Will you sit down?" You're like, no, because everyone's standing up.
It was so crowded, so crowded.
You know what? That is my one thing about being on the floor, or everybody. Like, if everyone would just sit the fuck down, it would be a whole lot better concert for everybody.
And that's why I like in the suites too, because if you want to
know.
dance, you can go to the back or whatever, and if you want to sit down, you can, and it is totally fine.
And now everybody, even if they were to sit, they're all holding their phones up recording. I'm like, just watch the concert.
I hate that too. I hate that.
Yeah.
Although I did see that Adele does not allow people to sit down during her concert. She's like, I have one rule: no one stands sits while I'm singing. I've
seen
heard
people sitting.
I've heard that she says that at the beginning, maybe for some of the slow songs, but maybe for the fast one. She doesn't have a lot of upbeat songs, but
true.
Anyway, different subject. Did you hear that? I think I sent you the thing. Universal Studios is building a theme park in Frisco.
Great.
They announced it. I know. So I've learned more about it. It is a theme park for young children only. So it's not going to have like Harry Potter. It's not going to have crazy roller coasters.
Oh, no rides?
It's going to have Littles rides. So like the equivalent of like the Dumbo ride, where it's like that kind of thing.
Are you serious?
But yeah, so they're opening up there. It's on 100 acres. I'm like, where is there 100 acres? So it must be like Frisco and beyond because it's on the tollway. So it must be like far north Frisco, which I don't think I've ever been north of the IKEA there.
Yeah, if you go out past Warren Park, but Frisco is right there off of, what is it, Warren Parkway, Gaylord, like I forget what.
Yeah, I did PR for that Hall office park that opened up there, but that's literally like the same intersection as like one intersection north of.
There is still some land up that way, but like it's been filling in big time because there's really no gap anymore between like that and Prosper and Little Elm. And
I don't even. I'm very good at like directions and such and reading maps, but that whole area you could be like point to Melissa, and I'm like,
that's on the 75 side.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Point to Aubrey. I'm like, nope, I have no idea where that is.
No, don't know where that is. Basically, anything north of Frisco, I'm like, oh, so you live in Oklahoma? Okay. And pretty soon, with this coming in, you'll have all the people from Oklahoma coming to there. And what's the water park everybody goes to? It takes all the kids. Where's that?
Grapevine or no? Great Wolf Lodge.
Great Wolf Lodge, isn't that?
Hotel.
The Gaylord, is it like connected to the Gaylord?
It's near it. It's not. They're totally different companies, but yes.
But all that together is going to be up there. So pretty soon, in the next 10 years, it will all be filled in between Oklahoma and that far north Texas. You won't get all the new neighborhoods are going to go out there if like all that's coming.
And you know what? I might visit, but I'm very glad that they get to stick up there. I would not want to live near an amusement park. I would not want to live near a SeaWorld or a Legoland or a Disney or anything like that. Like that just sounds like pure hell to me. And Monica's going to be like, bite your tongue about Disney. But yes.
Well, it'll be my guess that all that stuff comes up that way and it starts to fill in like a amusement park complex and Disney owns, speaking of Melissa, out there by Melissa, north of Anna, I always heard years ago, Disney had bought hundreds of acres and they just sit on it for the day if they ever decide to open it.
I think that's an urban legend. I've heard that before too, but I think that's an urban legend. Because I've also heard that they own land near Round Rock, which would make more sense to me because it gets too cold. It gets too cold here. I cannot see Disney opening a resort that would operate year round here in North Texas because it's too cold and it's too hot, both, right? The Austin area or San Antonio make way more sense to me.
Well, in the middle of the state, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit more temperate.
I think that'll happen in the next 10, 15 years. They'll announce a middle of the country Disneyland.
Yeah. But here's the thing I've always wanted. So they pull significantly from Texas. Like I feel like that would be cannibalizing, but maybe Disney World is so crowded now that they don't need to do it. So yeah, Monica heard around Gerald, which that's what I've heard too. I've heard that name, and I think Gerald is near Temple, isn't it?
That makes sense.
Yes. Oh, Kerrie, I don't know if you've heard they're building a Buc-ee's on the way to Waco, between here and Waco. Do you like
Yeah, I
Buc-ee's?
heard about that. Yeah,
Are you a
because
Buc-ee's super fan?
I am, but I mean, why is that so significant? Because you've got the one out on 30 in Terrell, and then is it because it's off of
35.
67?
Like you can't drive to Austin. You don't if you're driving to Austin or Waco or anything like that, there is no Buc-ee's to
There is
be
no
seen
Buc-ee's. Okay.
until you get to Temple, just north, like 30 minutes north of Austin, is where
Yeah.
the first Buc-ee's is. And so so you got to stop in either west or just at some shitty truck stop kind of place, like a Love's or a TA or something like that. So
You know, it would be smart if they built it. Oh, so it's in Waco. If they did an outpost of the actual West kolache place, not the Slovaka Czechs or whatever they are, but the original one, and put it inside the Buc-ee's. That would be nice.
The checkpoints.
Check stop.
I do think that it's going to affect Slovaceks and the Czech stop significantly when they.
That's why I say they would just scoop them up and leave the little outpost in West, but add it to the Buc-ee's. That would be smart.
I think the Buc-ee's should go where that terrible old outlet mall is in Hillsboro. You know,
is this
when
open?
Little bits and pieces. Like there was the Ralph Lauren store, I think is the only thing that's still open, and maybe a Gap outlet. When I was younger though, that outlet was the shiz. We drove down there to go to the outlets because there was no outlet closer. But my guess is that with the opening of Grapevine Mills, which was originally an outlet mall, it's now just kind of whatever it is. And then the Grand Prairie outlet and the Allen outlet, the other ones closer in, that I bet that's what killed the Hillsboro one. So,
hey Mike, I see Mike's comment. Buc-ee's is awesome. First one we went to was in Alabama. Yeah, the beef jerky, Mike. You know.
Yeah, the
Yes.
that one in Alabama is, I think, one of the biggest ones actually.
Is it?
I've been to that one before too. I actually don't think I've passed a Buc-ee's without stopping. Maybe once or twice.
You know, sometimes I'm with people and they're like, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, pull in, just pull in. You're gonna find. I go alone just for the warm nuts or the chopped brisket sandwich. I mean, you know, everything else is icing on the cake.
They have these tiny little butter cookies that you put in your mouth, and they just kind of evaporate. They're like communion wafers. They're so good, so good. Beth is saying, and growing up in Louisiana, they always heard that Disney was going to build there too. I think every southern state has that rumor going around.
Yeah.
They wanted too many kickbacks there. Yeah.
Texas just makes sense though. We're in the middle of the country. You know, we have so many international, you know, expats and people here that keep a place here to do business in the middle of the country because they can get to either coast easily. It just makes sense to put something big like, because Six Flags, let's be honest, it's nothing anymore. Like just, I'm like, that used to be the claim to fame here, Six Flags, and it's like, it's trash.
Well,
honestly,
now that
they can just scrape Six Flags off and turn it into Disney.
Now that Six Flags is part of that corporation instead of being, because it used to be the Six Flags of Texas. It was all themed based on France, Mexico, Spain, Republic of Texas, testing my Confederate, like old-timey America. What is the Sixth Flag of Texas, y'all? Is there things that because Texas has been under Six Flags. It was our own.
Yeah.
United States of America, or like early colonial times, France, as part of the Louisiana Purchase, Spain, Mexico. What is the sixth one?
Hang on.
It's probably Confederacy. I bet it's Confederacy.
We just dropped that one.
I know.
I
bet that's what
Spain,
it is.
France, Mexico. Here we go. Hang on. Spain, and this is the order: Spain, France, Mexico, Republic of Texas, Confederate States of America, and then United States of America.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that's the flag with the circle.
So they had
7 stars.
all the different lands. So all of them were themed based on like it was French or it was
I
Spanish
never realized that.
or it was racist or it was.
So is it a Texas company?
Yeah, this is the original. This is the original.
Are you
Six
serious?
Flags.
I've never known that the whole
That's
time,
why-
20 years I've lived here.
That's why it's called Six Flags, because it's the Six Flags over Texas. The company is called Six Flags for that reason. And they used to fly all of the. And now they've just changed it to 6 different rainbow colors, or like yellow flag, red flag, blue flag kind of thing.
Huh.
But that's why this one, I don't know if all the rest of them around the country have the same theming, but this one is like where the conquistador ship is. It's all Spanish style.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so anyway.
Oh my gosh. That just occurred to me. It just clicked that we began here. So yeah, they'll never get rid of it. Not even when that lady fell out of the wooden roller coaster did they decide to give up on it.
Poor things.
Can you imagine getting flung off of a wooden roller coaster? This is why.
Well,
my number one rule: if you have a big ass, you're just asking for physics to fuck up. If you put enough gravity and height between your big ass and another thing.
And it was the ride that only had a single bar. So if you also have like a belly of any sort, the bar is sitting like you're not squished in.
Yes. So being a big girl, I follow a lot of plus size influencers, and you wouldn't believe the amount of them that complain about size inclusivity at theme parks. And I'm always like, girl, just if you
G-forces are not our friends.
They're not on your side, and I don't even care if I could make it click. It ain't happening because I think it's gonna unclick easier than I made it click. I mean, no.
Well, that's why I want
people that complain about theme parks. I'm just like, there is a reason, there is a limit there. Like, just think about it.
Yes,
it's not size inclusivity. It's a matter of life and death.
Exactly. It's weight. It's physics.
Yeah, it's physics. Literal physics.
There's an algorithm that calculated. Because you know what? They would be fine with you writing it if you could, because that's more money for them.
Yeah.
So.
It just cracks me up. I'm always like, ooh.
I would not.
Like, but I can give a reference for the gorilla on 101 Dalmatians. Kerrie will get it.
I don't get that either. But
I don't get it, Mike. Sorry, I'm like blinking. I'm blinking. Help me out.
Help a bitch out.
Help a bitch out. What else was I gonna say regarding you're talking about Buc-ee's. I forget. What was I gonna say? We tabled something else earlier, but now I can't remember.
I know I can't either. We've come back and gone. I think I screwed it up by trying to finish a thought and then forgetting to go back to the thought. I know.
No.
Don't exhale and lock the bar. That is what he is saying. That the 101 Dalmatians.
Don't exhale.
His mother.
Don't exhale and lock the bar. Oh, okay. I got it. Yeah, that's an inside joke.
I will not ride rides that can be put up and taken down within an hour's time either.
I don't ride anything fairs. I don't ride anything that's been put together by a carny. I don't.
I need cement, like piers. I need bolts. Yeah. I need to know that thousands of people have ridden it in that exact situation, that exact form before I did.
If it came into town on a semi truck with a ratchet wrench, I'm good. I'm good.
You see some of these where they like rock side to side when they're going, and I'm like, no, not doing it.
You're like, you're literally just asking for that. Pam Golden Globes, Pam. I didn't watch it last night. I forgot.
I didn't even realize it was on until I heard about it this morning. I didn't. I don't know how I missed that, but
I heard it was meh.
Was it televised? I felt like they lost their. I felt like was it not streaming or something?
No, it was televised, and so last year they quietly skipped it because of all the controversy that was going on.
Yeah.
And they were still embroiled in controversy this year. What's his name? Carmichael was the host. And he sat right down on the stage, I think somewhere towards the beginning, I saw a clip and was like, let's be honest, the only reason I'm sitting here and hosting is because I'm black. And everyone was like, Whoa, like he just addressed it from the
Yep,
get-go.
there it is.
I heard that what's her name? Jennifer Coolidge won. She's hilarious in anything she does. Kevin Costner won, but he wasn't there. What's her name? Funny gal on
I think so. I like Jennifer Coolidge. I like the idea of Jennifer Coolidge. I just don't think she can carry like White Lotus. I was like, I don't think I can watch for 8 episodes. She always holds herself like this. It just
her whole character is. I want a hot dog real bad.
It's like I wouldn't want to watch a movie about Karen Walker either, or Jack McFarlane. Like that, I love the characters all by themselves, but they do not have enough depth to. I want a hot dog real bad. Like I just
part of me wonders if that's just her silly persona, because they were interviewing her on the red carpet and they were like, oh, you've done so many roles, and like, what do you think is next for you, and what have you always wanted to do? And she goes, I've always wanted to be a dolphin.
I've always wanted to be a dolphin.
And they were like,
well, she started off as a stand-up comedian. Most people don't realize that.
Really?
But there's old school video of her doing stand-up.
Was that her shtick? That like the way she talks? Was she?
Yeah, that's not. I actually genuinely think that's her voice.
That's how she is. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure she amps up the carriage of it. I'm sure or the characterization of it. Yeah. But I do genuinely think. Of course, I make her sound like she's in the mafia.
You do. Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Yeah,
I have to do that line first to like get into her.
To get into it. I'm like, it makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Speaking of hot dogs, this is a good segue. Have you seen all the stuff about Chicago's Portillo's opening up north? Speaking of going up north, which I don't want to do, but the Chicago outlet of Portillo's has opened up like 2 days ago in Frisco. Yeah. They're known for their Italian dip sandwiches and their hot dogs, of course. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of hot dogs.
Field trip.
So. Maybe, like those kinds of, Pam and I are always joking when we see stuff. We're like, maybe if we get a couple of them put together, we can go up there and hit them all at once.
Yes. A progressive dinner or something.
I hate going. Oh, I haven't told you this. I don't know. Yes, I texted you about my rug because I was talking to you about it. But when I came back last week and I had the whole week off, I didn't come back to work till this week. And I was like, I had a morning and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go up the tollway. I'm going to go to freaking Nebraska Furniture Mart. Never gone the whole time it's been open in this godforsaken North Texas. And I get up there and I get out of the car and I'm like, it is so freaking big. Like, here's 3 hours of my life I'm never going to get.
Yes.
But I did go up there and was like, I had like 3 or 4 things I was looking for, and I was managed to knock out 2 of them. So I considered it a successful trip. But speaking of things up north, I only go for IKEA, and then I guess now I've done the Nebraska Furniture Mart. I don't need to return, but
it's good if you need to buy like a lot of things, or carpet that's where we bought our carpet, stuff like that. But it's not good for just running in. Danita is saying that the creator of White Lotus, Mike White, was too wasted to give his acceptance speech. They need to provide them with some endless chips and salsa with all that booze.
Everybody was like, there's nothing to eat. Someone else was drunk and they were like, there's nothing to eat. And I'm like, why don't they feed? I guess some of them don't eat, right?
When it starts at like 4:00 also.
Right. They have all that Moet and Chandon or whatever on the table. So they need to feed them. All
righty. Well, I got to go. My husband has dinner out, so I need to go say bye to him before he goes to dinner and figure out what I'm doing. Mason has, I will not be here tomorrow. Mason has he has to give a PowerPoint presentation about himself to a panel in order to apply for the business themed magnet. And it's at 5:00 tomorrow. So I have to take him up there. And they're like, you just drop him at the door and then pick them up afterwards.
Oh, they don't want you there?
No parents are allowed. They're not even allowed in the building.
Has he been practicing it?
He says he has.
Have you media trained your son?
Well, I'm making him do it in front of me. We're gonna Apple throw whatever you call it to the TV. Apple Play, what's it called? Chromecast, I don't know, whatever it's called.
Yeah, screencast or whatever.
All righty.
Well, that's cool. I look forward to hearing about that. I'm glad to be back on the shows. I'm glad to be back.
Back in the States.
Yes, and for any of you who might have missed my
back in the States.
Oh, good. For those that might have missed any of my travels, I am gonna. You can also in highlights on Instagram can only have 100 frames, which I think is ridiculous because I would have just put my whole trip on there. So I've got to go through and select 100 photos that I think represent my 2 months there. So I'm going to put a highlight on my Instagram at some point.
with that, don't forget, Food Sparks is how you can follow Kerrie if you want to follow her. So, alrighty. Well, thank you for being on today. Missed you while you were gone. Can't wait to see you in person soon.
I know, Michelle.
Although I'm starting to ramp down my in-person involvements because I don't want to catch COVID before we go to see Adele. So
yeah.
Alrighty, well with that, I love y'all. It's important to know you were loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. And I will see you Friday for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Did I say? Talk to you later.
Mama Cooper. Bye, Sandy.